And we're going to put the head aside and move on to the ears. Okay, so the ears are going to be in purple. So to start off, we're going to do 6 single crochets into the magic ring. We're going to leave quite a tail because that's going to be tucked into the head. And then for the next round, we are going to do single crochet increase times 3. And then we are going to leave a little bit of a tail for sewing. And we're going to pull through and do that exactly the same again to make another ear. So 6 single crochets into the magic ring. And then for the next round, we are going to do single crochet increase times 3. And then we're going to leave a tail again for sewing. So the next part is optional. You do not have to make horns if you don't want to, because some cows don't have horns, but I am going to add horns to my cow. So you're going to need toffee coloured yarn, or you can use brown yarn, or you can even use purple and do purple horns if you want, but I'm going to use toffee. So first of all, we're going to do 4 single crochets into the magic ring. And then we're going to do single crochet increase times by 2, and that'll take us to 6 stitches. And then for the final round, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. So single crochet for 6 stitches. Now we're going to leave a little bit of a tail for sewing, and we'll pull through, and then we'll just make another horn exactly like that. So first of all, we're going to do 4 single crochets into the magic ring. And then we're going to do single crochet increase times by 2, and that'll take us to 6 stitches. And then for the final round, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. So single crochet for 6 stitches. Now we're going to leave a little bit of a tail for sewing, and we'll pull through. Okay, so once you have completed your 2 horns, we are going to put those aside, and now we are going to make the snout. So we'll grab our purple yarn, and to start off, we are going to just chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to single crochet 3 times back into the chain. 1, 2, 3, and then into the last chain we're going to do 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we're on the other side, and we're going to do 3 single crochets into the other side of the chains. So 1 single crochet into this chain, 2, and then 3. And now we're going to increase into the turning chain. Now we are once again going to do 3 single crochets down this line. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to increase here. And now we're going to do 2 more single crochets. 1, 2. We're going to do an increase into this stitch. And then finally a single crochet. And then 1 more single crochet to finish off. And now we are going to leave a tail for sewing once again. And then we'll pull through. Now we'll put that aside. So now we are going to do the final part of the body before we start sewing. So that is the arms. So for the arms, we're going to start off with 4 single crochets into the magic ring. And then for the next round, we're going to do 4 increases, and we'll be switching to white at the end of this round. So on the last stitch, we will grab our white yarn, and we're going to switch over to white. And now we'll tie the purple and the white yarn together. And we will cut off the purple yarn. And now we are going to single crochet with white for 2 rounds. Then for the next round, we are going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease times by 2, which will take us down to 6 stitches. And now we are going to single crochet for 4 rounds to finish it off. So single crochet 6, 4 times. And once we have completed that, we will cut off a tail for sewing, and we will pull through the yarn. And now we're going to do another arm exactly the same. So we're going to start off with 4 single crochets into the magic ring. And then for the next round, we're going to do 4 increases, and we'll be switching to white at the end of this round. So on the last stitch, we will grab our white yarn, and we're going to switch over to white. And now we'll tie the purple and the white yarn together. And we will cut off the purple yarn. And now we are going to single crochet with white for 2 rounds. Then for the next round, we are going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease times by 2, which will take us down to 6 stitches. And now we are going to single crochet for 4 rounds to finish it off. So single crochet 6, 4 times. And once we have completed that, we will cut off a tail for sewing, and we will pull through the yarn. Okay, so now we are going to stuff our body parts. So grab your stuffing, and with the body, we'll start by stuffing the little legs, and then we will stuff the body properly. Then we're going to stuff the head properly. And now finally we'll try and stuff the arms. You don't really need to add much stuffing to the arms. So first of all, I'd just like to say that with the sewing, I am not going to describe exactly detail by detail how to sew each piece on. I will have a time lapse of me sewing on each piece, and I'll tell you beforehand my method of sewing it on and the positioning for where you should sew it on. Just because there's so many pieces that it would take ages to describe detail by detail where I'm sewing each piece on. But we are going to start with the snout. So the snout is just going to go between the eyes, and my method of sewing this on is by going around. So we're just going to sew into each stitch into the face around. And the top of the snout should just be about one row above the eyes. So between these two rows, just one above the eyes. So that'll look like this. So we'll start over here, and then we'll just go round. So once we're up to this point, I'm just going to add a very small amount of stuffing. And then we'll keep going round. And then once you've done that, we're just going to bring the extra yarn to a random point and cut it off. So there it is with just the snout on. Now we're going to sew the ears on. So grab the ears, and the ears are going to be sewed on. See the middle at the top? We go down, and they're going to be approximately here. So just below where this patch is, or in line with the bottom of the patch, and it's going to be the same on the other side. So just about like this. So we'll grab our first ear, and the tail that's in the middle, we're just going to take that and bring it out to where the other tail is, and we're going to use that tail, the smaller tail, for the first position. So I want to start my ear approximately here. So we're just going to bring the little tail back here, and we'll tie it to the bigger tail later. So now we'll grab our bigger tail, and we'll go through the ear and into the body a couple of times to make sure it's secure. And then we'll bring it back to the same point that we put the other tail. And then we'll just tie these two together at the back. Cut off any excess tail. And then we're just going to poke that inside. And then we're going to repeat that with the other ear, and it's going to be the same positioning on the other side. Then we'll bring that to this point and we'll tie them together and then cut it off and poke it inside. Next up, we're going to grab the horns, and for the horns we're just going to sew them right behind the ear, just like this. So just more towards the center than the ears, but slightly behind as well. Then we're going to bring the tail back into a random spot in the back of the head, and soon we will tie that to the tail from the other horn. And now we're going to grab the other horn and sew that on here as well. Now we're going to bring the tail of that back to the same point as where the other tail is. And then we'll tie the two tails together and cut it off and then put it inside. So this is what the head should look like after you've completed the sewing. And now we're going to grab the body. So we will be sewing the head onto the body. So we're going to grab the tail and put the yarn needle through. And the head and the body have the same amount of stitches. So we're just going to go into this stitch and then into this stitch and then back into the body, back into the head, etc. all the way around. So we're going to start right at the front. And we'll just make sure that the front of the head is staying at the front of the body, at the front as you sew around. Once you are happy with how the head is attached to the body, we will just bring the tail to a random place and then cut it off. And this is what the body should look like currently without any arms. Now finally we're going to grab the arms and we're just going to sew each arm just onto the side of the body. So we'll sew it into the round, like between where we sewed on the head to the body, so right in this gap. Now we'll bring the tail to the back so we can tie it to the tail of the other arm in a moment. And we'll grab our other arm and do the same thing. And then we'll bring the tail to the same spot. And then we'll tie the two tails together. Cut them off. And then poke it inside. And that is your completed cow. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy making your cow, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more crochet tutorials. Also, if you post your creation on Instagram, make sure to tag me at onecentcrochet. I have other free patterns over on my Instagram as well. And I also have other written patterns over on Etsy. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.